The former Trump attorney Michael Cohen gets some coaching for his Capitol Hill testimony from the staff of Democratic House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff. So Catherine Herridge with the latest on that. Catherine.
Thank you, Charles, and good afternoon. Fox News was first to report that Democratic staff from the House Intelligence Committee traveled to New York 4 times and met with Cohen for more than 10 hours in advance of his 7-hour public testimony. 2 sources told Fox News the sessions with Cohen were wide-ranging, covering the National Enquirer's catch-and-kill policy, American media CEO David Pecker, as well as the alleged undervaluing or inflating of President Trump's assets. What's key here is that one by one, Democrats raised the exact same topics during Cohen's public testimony. Watch.
I was involved in several of these catch-and-kill episodes, but these catch-and-kill scenarios existed between David Pecker and Mr. Trump long before I started working for him in 2007.
To your knowledge, did the president ever provide inflated assets to an insurance company?
Yes.
In a statement to Fox News, a spokesman for Chairman Schiff said, quote, despite this professed outrage by Republicans, it's completely appropriate to conduct proper sessions and allow witnesses to review their prior testimony before the committee interviews them. Such sessions are a routine part of every serious investigation around the country, including congressional investigations. For some context, Cohen has now testified at least 5 times in private and public congressional hearings. He first told the House committee over a year ago that he was not aware of any direct evidence showing collusion with Russia. Charles.
Catherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
By the way, we have called Congressman Adam Schiff for an interview. We have yet to hear back from him, but want to go now to Ohio Republican Congressman Michael Turner. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee and wrote a letter to Michael Cohen demanding answers. Sir, thanks for joining us. It feels like a bombshell for those of us not familiar with how things proceed there. Is this unusual? Has this happened before? Do you know of times perhaps when Republicans may have engaged in a similar kind of tactic?
And not like this. And my congratulations to Catherine, Charles, because what we knew before on the government reform testimony, that Cohen himself had admitted that he had had contact with Democrat Adam Schiff. And what we know now from reports, Cohen's attorney Lanny Davis is reporting that there were 4 trips to New York and over 10 hours of contact with Adam Schiff's staff. To give you some perspective, he testified in front of the Government Reform Committee for 7 hours. Let's say the Democrats were 4 hours of that questioning and answering. That means that they would have spent 3 hours behind closed doors working with Cohen, preparing him for that testimony and questioning for every hour that we got to see on TV. Now, we thought this was, a congressional hearing, how they normally are, people asking questions, contemporaneously getting answers. They say this is a public investigation, but it sounds like public and professional orchestration. These types of contacts are very, very unusual. And what do you do for over 10 hours of sitting down with Cohen before he testifies publicly? It absolutely rises to the level of questions of coaching and whether or not this is political theater.
Do you think you can get to the bottom of this? Do you think you can ultimately find out if in fact there was some sort of rehearsal session, some sort of coaching session? And I think more importantly as well, does this rise to the level of being illegal? Certainly it sounds like it perhaps is unfair with respect to being a public hearing.
Well, I think Democrat Adam Schiff has some answers that he owes the public, because here these happened behind closed doors solely with Democrat Adam Schiff's staff. No one else was present at the time. Over 10 hours of work with Michael Cohen before he came out and publicly testified. I think that the public deserves answers as to what happened during these sessions, what was discussed. And what we certainly know was discussed were items that were of interest to the Democrats that they brought forward in the Government Reform Committee. They knew the answers he was going to give before they asked the questions, and that's not what the American public expects. They don't expect guiding and coaching of a witness. If we're going to have a congressional testimony, it should be actual testimony from the witness and questions from those who are present.
Adam Schiff said that it was sort of proper sessions and that they were routine. At the beginning of this interview, you suggested that Republicans have done something similar. Tell me what the difference would be between Republicans, what they may have done in the past, compared to what you think happened in this case?
Yeah, so no, I wasn't suggesting at all that this has happened with Republicans. What I think everybody would expect, that there could be some contact. You know, for example, it wouldn't be shocking if the aggregate of contacts between the House Oversight Committee and the House Intelligence Committee on the Democrat side in preparation for the logistics of Cohen's testimony was an hour. You know, how it's going to go down, how it's going to work, how it's structured. You know, at 5 hours you start to get, you know, well, what are you talking about? But now we're hearing this is over 10 hours. Over 10 hours, clearly this is trying to affect testimony. This is where coaching occurs. This is where questions of theater occur and orchestration. You know, you hear from reports on the Democrats and the government reform that they were proud of their performance. Well, if it's been rehearsed, they certainly have a reason to be proud.
What do you make of it? Where are we with that? I mean, do you think that Michael Cohen lied during that testimony?
You know, the only thing I'm confident where Michael Cohen has told the truth is when he pled guilty to lying to Congress. I think past that, you can't take much credibility in what he's saying. You know, you have to understand that every time he opens his mouth as an attorney who swore to hold the confidences of his client, he's already violating his professional pledge. And then he's a convicted felon for having proven to have lied. I think his guilty plea is probably the only thing we can count on that Michael Cohen has told the truth about.
Representative Mike Turner, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.